So we are going to look at the hardware portion of this. I'm doing this video separate because a lot of people have been asking me about it personally that I know. And I will tell you this, you are controlling two different things, but primarily the global settings. The other portion is just moving between these tracks here, okay? This is your up and down, next and previous button. And you're gonna go up here to hardware first. When you first get in here, make sure your MIDI controller is plugged in. Now everyone is different, so I cannot speak on everyone. I can only show you on the one I have. Some of them have more controls, so you have more access to this, but all of them are primarily controlling the global and controlling these tracks. Okay, so mine is set up here. You see it, Novation Launchkey 37 Mark IV. I'm going to show you on here. Though they have the wrong one for some reason, I looked over here. The minis are down here. This is a mini. This is not the regular 37 Mark IV. So the picture is wrong. The controls are right. So you can see what you can control here. You're basically using these 8 knobs. Now this has to be on so that this works. You have to hit shift. Shift is over here. Well, on this one is different because mine is, but you have to hit shift and you have to set the top layer on custom 1. It's a pad on there. It says custom 1. It's like right here. Then the bottom layer has to be on custom 3 on the bottom. So custom 1 on the top, which is here, custom 3 on the bottom. Now that's how you access both. Oops, y'all don't want to see that. Force quit there. That's how you access these controls. See me moving the cutoff right there? Res, this one, the depth, the ambience amount, the length of the ambience. And you can see this one is mapped with the amount and the detune for some reason. I don't know why. And then this is the glide button over here. So that's your 8 controllers. And then you use your up and downs to move up and down. Okay, so that's pretty much all you're controlling. And anybody that gets this just because they want the hardware control, you're going to be disappointed. It's not the greatest thing in the world. In fact, you're only controlling the global aspect of it. Now, let me put it to you this way, if you don't know this. Most of this stuff on here can be MIDI mapped. Most of it. So if you have a controller with that many buttons on it, go for it. They only did some basic mapping to get you going. But let's say what they didn't do is they did not put, there's an arrow on the this particular keyboard. That's the wrong keyboard. So that's, hold on a second. Let me make sure they got the right keyboard here. All right, we're going to use this one. If you have this keyboard where you have the Mark IV, you have the faders that work, you have these buttons, you have this. So you can look right here and see you have more controls, but you're still only controlling the global settings with that. They are only mapping that. That does not mean though that you can't map other stuff. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's go into this sound right here. So this is your A. Let's say you want to map this fader here. If you right click on it, you can see right here, you can map anything in here. But the question I would have for you is, are you going to remember everything you mapped on your controller? I mean, if you have that kind of skill set, go for it. But the most people are just going to look here at the screen and just turn the knob with their hand, or they might right click and enter a parameter value that they want. I do know there is a keyboard. I want to say, in fact, let's look in here. I think it's in here. It's a Launchkey keyboard. It's an older model of Novation. Let me see if I can find it. Why are we looking at Native Instruments? Close that. Okay, here we go. It's these SL models. So I'm going to click on the 61. If you get this thing, it has knobs. You see that show up in the screen. You got your faders, you got transport. It's an older keyboard and it's kind of expensive. And you can see they only map still the global stuff, but you do have a lot more buttons if you want to get in there and map more in that particular one. So each one is going to be a little different. Like here's again, they're just doing the global settings, but you can see you can even use one of these little controller pads to do it. Um, let's go to the mod. So same thing here. There's each mod keyboard that you get from Yamaha is going to be a little different. So you're going to have to figure that out. It's up to you. If you want to sit there and mod everything and map it because it just makes you happy to have a button, I, I think you're going to get tired of that, in my opinion. You would do better just to look, set it up. Because here's the thing, once you set the sound, unless you're really sound designing in this thing, the average person that doesn't sound design is just going to be going through presets. And they might hear a preset they kind of like, and then they're going to hit mutate. Or they're going to maybe turn something off. Like I typically go in the ARP. If it's an ARP on it, I turn it off because I'm just not into it, right? If there's effects I don't like, I go in and I just turn them off. And this one, they don't even have any effects. So, you know, and I'll be blatantly honest. Am I gonna sit here and perhaps? In fact, that would be something that I'm more prone to do going through these presets. By the way, if you don't have a keyboard that's in here that's hardware mapped for these global settings, which I again think are okay, they're good, but I don't think having a map makes a big difference to me. I would highly suggest just map it yourself. Right click, unlearn whatever's there, and then just hit the CC button and click the button or turn the knob that you want to map it to. Whatever you want to do to go through presets. And these sounds sound so good with that LA2A on there. That's crazy. I even found out too going through here because this just caught my attention that they have a Neve and a Pultec. I think it is. Here it is right here. This super channel one is actually has a Pultec Neve and the API on it. So you can make your stuff sound really good. And there's a ton of different reverbs too. So there you have it. So all I'm saying is don't get caught up in when they say hardware integration. They it is mappable, yes, and they do map this, but that's it. And I feel like a broken record saying it, but I don't want people, oh man, I got to get this just because of that. You get it because you love the sound and you like where it can take your sound and you like where the presets you have that you can mix and match stuff. That's the reason to get it, not because of hardware integration. It's not going to make it better. But I do like and understand why a person would want to be able to go through the presets without having to click a mouse. I get that. So that's the end of this video. Again, I am a person who speaks on the good and the bad and the in-betweens. So I don't want to leave you um, feeling like I didn't tell you so. You told me this was the greatest thing ever. You're right, I did. And it is, but I also am telling you the truth. And I'm going to tell you this too. The standalone version, which is what I'm in now, actually has a flow capture, which is basically the same thing as like audio capture. So you could get in here, set your BPM, turn a metronome on. It won't record the metronome. By the way, it has tap tempo. And you can literally record some stuff and just come up with maybe if you're a sample based artist and you just want to record some different sounds and make some little like samples, you can get in here and easily make samples and record stuff. So you don't necessarily have to have a DAW to do this. It does work in standalone. But I also highly suggest that you get Keyscape and Trillion. Get the bass, it's worth it. Have all the basses, because you can mix the bass sounds in with the other sounds in Omnisphere. And definitely get Keyscape too, because that gives you all your Rhodes, your pianos, felt pianos, and all those keyboards that you will like that you can blend sounds in with. And then the Omnisphere is basically like the synthesizer, right? So you get all the synth stuff with it. And then Omnisphere also can run all of the libraries as you see right here. So you don't have to go and open Trillion on its own or open Keyscape on its own. You can have them all right here. And because you have 8 of these up here, these are the multi-tracks that I was talking about. So there's 3 multi-tracks going in this one sound. But I think it's spaced across the keyboard. You could have and jump around. And that's where they're stacking sounds to give you really good sounds. Okay. All right. So that's it. Just said that. I'm going to move on. I'll see you on the next.